Hey guys, this is Dr. K, Dr. Z, whichever one of them you want to call me. It is Tuesday, 7 o'clock. That means what? It is time for another candid talk with one of my friends from around the globe. And so, again, you guys know who I am. And so, wherever you are listening from, whether you are on the continent in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, or you could be across the pond in London, the Netherlands, or Germany, or maybe you're somewhere in Latin America. Yes, yes, yes. Or maybe even in the Caribbean or anywhere around the United States of America. Welcome to Candid Talks. And guys, we have an international audience and we have international guests. And so right now we have a wonderful, you guys have met her before. She is my girlfriend. She is a wellness practitioner, a certified wellness practitioner. She's a nutrition coach. She is a fitness coach. I'm telling you, she can get you right. She will get your mind right and she will get your body right in everything that you need to know just about being healthy. And guess who that is, y'all? I told you she's been here before, but she is back. And that is my girl, Delsina West. Delsina! Yay!
I'm so glad to be back.
Yay! I'm so happy you're back. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate
Yes.
you.
I appreciate you too. You are a blessing. I'm telling you, you are.
Oh, thank you. I think you are a blessing. We had so much fun the last time. I said, Delsina, you got to come back and give the people what they need. Not what they want, but what they
What they
need.
need.
What they need.
So, yes. So,
So
a lot of
what
people
happened?
probably,
What happened since the last time? The last time
what's
we met.
happened since the last time? Well, I think a lot of people may not know a lot about my background. First of all, Carrie was talking about her international audience. I am Panamanian. I was born and raised in Panama, came to the United States many decades ago. And fitness has become part of my life. I started out in bodybuilding when I was in my 30s, actually, which is, now that I think about it, that's a little late in the game. But I started in bodybuilding when I was in my 30s because believe it or not, I was bored and I was looking for something to do because I had couldn't finish college. I joined the military, and when I was in college, I was a gymnast.
Mhm.
And so I loved being involved in that, and I got involved into bodybuilding, and bodybuilding led me into the world of personal training. And I really love personal training, but what I really noticed was that a lot of people, as a personal trainer, your job is to tell people what to do, how to do it, and how not to stop doing it. And that works great when you are in the gym with the person. And, that's an hour of the day, but what
Mhm.
happens after that time? And that's when I began to get more involved and deeper into the wellness practitioner side of thing, coaching people instead of getting
Mm,
people to be more engaged in making the decisions themselves to make the changes in their life. And
okay.
the other day I was talking to my husband, Stephen, about the fact that, man, I'm going to be almost 60 years old. I'm going back into a new career field. I'm going to go into public speaking as a career, and really establishing my wellness practice. And it's kind of crazy. How am I doing this at this age? But I'm so excited because I have had so many experiences that have brought me to this, that I realize can be a real eye opener to a lot of people. Many people don't realize that after my bodybuilding years, after my military years, I spent 26 years in the military. I was an enlisted soldier at first, and then I was in the reserve, and then I became an officer. And you go, 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 and you never really stop because you always have to make sure the mission completes. And so it seemed like immediately after I got out of the military, I learned that I had a degenerative disc disease and that I had kind of like an advancing arthritis.
Wow.
And so from my years of personal training and learning about nutrition, I understood that there are a lot of things you can do through nutrition, changing your diet, your healthy habits, and exercise to help defray or delay some of those those
Mm-hmm.
issues, which is probably what allowed me to maintain through the military without having any serious major complications, except for one, which I'll talk about some other time. But shortly after that, my body just broke down. And
Wow.
I mean, seriously broke down. Between the year of 2016 to 2020, I had major surgery every single year.
Mm.
I had to have my spinal cord in my C6, C4, 5, and 6 fused and replaced. I had a shoulder complete replacement with a new technique they did as a reverse pulse shoulder replacement. I had my total hip replacement. I had a total knee replacement. I have had bicep tear and fixing. Still working with a rotator cuff that is torn because after the last surgery, I just did not want to get cut again.
Wow.
I had had serious problems with ovarian torsion and uterine um, inefficiency and cysts, which put me in the hospital many times. That's this picture of me there when I had my shoulder replacement. And every single major surgery, and these are just little things, took me out of commission for at least 3 to 6 months with severe pain, depression, anxiety, and every time I had something replaced, I thought, Lord, I just can't go through this anymore. But I did all the good things you're supposed to do before you have these kind of issues, physical therapy, pain management, seeing several doctors, trying different types of treatment, acupuncture, chiropractic. I did all of those till the very last thing was always only having the surgery.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, it's pretty bad. And with me being so, what's the word I want to look for? I don't ever want to show my weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So most people don't even know it. They see me in my high heel shoes and in my dresses all the time. And, don't think twice about it until every now and then I have to pull my cane out. And they're like, what happened to you? I'm like, well, my arthritis is acting up.
Acting up.
And sometimes, I can't move the way I want to, but I wear my heels because I know there are times when I have not been able to wear the shoes and the clothes that I want to. And so for me, it's just a matter, it's kind of like a defiance. I want to continue to be who I am deep down inside, regardless of the physical ailments. But one thing that God has been able to help me with is that I was able to use my skill and knowledge in fitness and nutrition to help me recover. And I want to tell people, especially women in our age, that you can recover from almost anything, just about anything, if you know what it is you need to do and you apply yourself and you take it slow, step by step throughout the process. It's
Wow.
nothing that happens overnight.
Yeah, yeah. How did you come from those challenges, Delsina? Because it sounds like, I mean, and looking at the picture, I'm just like, wow, I cannot even imagine the pain that you were in, right? So going from one major surgery to the other in such a short period of time, when you've had the final surgery and you have the depression, but you have to come from it because you're still a wife, you're still a mother, you're still a professional. How did you deal with the challenges? Like, what were some of the practical and intentional steps that you took?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go back a little bit because just before the first surgery, after the first surgery I had, I actually tried to commit suicide. I was extremely depressed, and it had happened after the incident on Fort Hood where there was the mass shooting at First Medical Brigade. And as an officer and a leader, I felt helpless because I couldn't help my soldiers. Friends died that day. It just hit me in a way that I just wasn't able to deal with. And I won't go into the details of what I did to try to commit suicide, but I ended up in a psych ward for a week.
Mhm.
And that really made me think and realize I need to be here. I want to be on this earth. I want to be on this earth. I want to live a good life. I want to make I want to make my life worthwhile, and I want to see my children get married and have kids, etc. So after my second surgery, I think my second surgery was knee replacement, and I swelled up like a balloon. And
Mm,
I was so discouraged because I was used to being fit, used to
mm,
competing in bodybuilding, used to being, 11% body fat, getting on stage in a little itty bitty bikini. And when I had my knee surgery, I didn't recognize myself. I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do exercises like I wanted to. And I was starting to get back into that depression again. Because, when you're taking pain meds and you can't move around, when you're an independent person and your life is full of, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't, you can kind of spiral down into this really seriously negative place. But then I realized, you know what? I can't do that. I need to do what I can and stop focusing on what I can't.
mm,
And
mhm,
when I started focusing on what I can do, then I started thinking, you know what? I can make sure that I'm eating well so that my body recovers. If I can't
right.
move it, I can at least eat well so that my body recovers. So my husband started learning how to cook during that time. And I would dictate to him all the foods that I needed to have, all the nutrients I needed to have, water, etc., to help me to feel stronger, be stronger. And then while laying in bed, I learned, well, I can't move this part of my body, but I can move this part of my body. So what can
Mhm,
I do to move this part of my body, especially when I had that shoulder replacement surgery?
yeah.
Yeah, you can't move and you think, I can't do anything. There's just nothing I can do. Once I was able to be mobile, then I realized, you know what? If I can't move my upper body, I can still move my lower body.
Mhm,
So let me do something with my lower body until my upper body can work. And when my upper
yeah.
body wasn't working, I thought, well, I can't do anything with my upper body, but what can I do? And I focused on the things I could do
Mhm,
slowly and consistently and with dedication, and set
yeah.
a goal. Set a goal that this was not going to be my story. This was not going to be my end. I was not going to be a hunched over, crippled, immovable, woman because I had some major surgery in my life. Because I've seen, you've seen people who have overcome horrible disasters.
Horrible things. Yeah.
But it's the determination in your mind that you're not going to stay where you are and you're going to move past it, even if it takes a long, long time. And it's
Yeah.
just one step, one day at a time, thinking
Right.
about the positive aspects of your life. Because we get so caught
It's an
up in thinking about
intentional.
the negative aspects of our life.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, go ahead.
No, I said so. It's an intentional decision to make. It's a choice.
It is an
It's a,
absolute choice. It is, and it's the same thing when it comes to talking to women about menopause. I find so many women, they just accept that, okay, I'm in menopause, so I'm having hot flashes and I'm having knee pains and I'm gaining all this weight and I'm not as sharp as I used to. Well, what is good about your life now? Think about the
mm,
good that is in your life now. You overcome so much to be a parent, to be a mother. You've overcome so much to be a leader in your industry. You've overcome maybe financial difficulties or relationship differences. Think about those positive things. And then what did you learn from those? You became wiser, more astute, more discerning, closer to God. And you think about those positive things, then you start adding that positive thing to the other things that are happening in your life. Okay, so I'm having hot flashes. What can I do to help that?
yeah.
Do I seek out medication? Do I seek out natural remedies? Do I change my physical and nutritional lifestyle so that I
Mhm,
don't have those problems? Or do I
yeah.
just sit in squalor and just moan and groan about it till, the end of time?
That's good, Delsina, because I think a lot of people, who become incapacitated, whether it is for long term or short term, tend to dwell on what they cannot do rather than some of the things that they can do. So that's a very, very good point of view. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Hey guys, if you're just joining us now from wherever you're joining us, we're half past our conversation with Delsina West. Delsina is a wellness practitioner as well as a public speaker, keynote of all things wellness. She is also the owner and founder, CEO of Sexy Citizen. Y'all gotta look it up. The Sexy Citizen. Google it, okay? She's Googleable. So go to Amazon and get her book, get
Yes,
her t-shirts, get her mugs on the Sexy Citizen. Delsina, thank you so much for being here with us today, just kind of sharing with us. So you talked about your journey, your wellness journey from having multiple surgeries and trauma, dealing with suicidal ideation or attempt, and getting back to healthy. So how would you say that besides eating the foods in your wellness journey, what were some of the intentional things that you had to do mentally, right, to get to wellness? And talk to me about how other people can get to wellness from your perspective.
well, I think is what the mental aspect is really actually the first thing. You have to be ready, willing, and able to make the change. You have to make a decision. Oftentimes, I see people go to the external factors in order to get well. They decide, okay, I'm not going to eat sugar, or I'm not going to eat bread, or I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. But if your mindset is not of the sort where I want to be healthier. I want to be stronger. I want to be have more energy. It's got to be more about what you want to be than what you
Yeah.
want to do, because our mind is going to direct, what we think is what we focus on, and what we focus on is
Yes.
what we end up doing. So doing is the last part. It's thinking about where you want to be and keeping that as your main focus. In my stage right now, I think I want to be healthy, strong, and yes, I want to be sexy. My thing, the sexy senior citizen, is kind of like a laughing stream with me, because people think, well, it's not all about being sexy or anything like that. But the sexy senior citizen came from my grandmother. It's an
Mm,
homage to her. She died at 98, and she was one of my best friends. She lived in Florida with some of her children. And I used to vacation all the time in Florida. And oftentimes, if you know your family, you go somewhere where you have a lot of family, everybody wants you to stop by their house and visit them. And when
mhm.
I would go to Florida, I just want to go and hang out and spend some time on the beach and go shopping. So oftentimes I would go to Florida. The only person I would tell my is my grandmother, and I'd go and visit her, and it'd be our own little secret that I was in town. So nobody else would have me going anywhere. And I would spend the whole day with her. We go shopping, go to Walmart. That was her favorite place. And well, when she would always, when she always was very stylish, and she would dress up, and from even up to 98, and she lived by herself. And sometimes when she would be getting dressed for church and stuff, she's like, "Don't look at my sexy body. I'm a sexy senior citizen." And she looked like a skinny Humpty Dumpty, just belly and skinny legs and skinny arms. But she was always texting me, "You wish you could be a sexy senior citizen like me." And so it was always like a running joke with her, and with her and myself. I'm going to grow up to be a sexy senior citizen like you, Mama. I call her Mama.
Uh-huh.
And she lived that way until her very last breath. And
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm going to write a book about being a sexy senior citizen,
Yeah.
and how that mindset that you have about who you want to be can dictate your life. She ate healthy her whole life. She didn't
Mhm.
drink alcohol. She didn't smoke. She exercised. I wrote her workout programs for her to do
Wow.
in her chair. The first time I wrote her workout program is when she was 90. And she would do her exercises because she wanted to stay to be a sexy senior citizen. So that's why I wrote my book and called it The Sexy Senior Citizen. And I talk about various aspects of aging, style, fashion, mental attitude, nutrition, and exercise, but in a sense where it's part of your lifestyle. It's not something you do, it's who you are.
It's who
So
you
yeah, who you are. You have to start thinking, I am healthy. I am
are.
energetic. I am a person who moves my body. And,
Yeah.
that kind of mindset.
Yeah. Is that one of the reasons that you became a nutrition coach or a fitness coach? Where did that come
Yes.
from? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely my mindset with it, because I realized that you can tell people what to do all day long and they'll do what you tell them, but if they don't change their mindset, it doesn't really stick. And I'm the type of person, I made a good money and I charged a pretty nice fee, but I really want to see people change. And so as I started diving deeper into the world of fitness and learning about coaching, and the aspects of coaching is really, really, it's not psychiatry or psychology, but we use some of those techniques in motivational interviewing to
Mm-hmm.
get people to understand their deeper meanings or deeper whys, and encourage people to make the changes from within. Now, granted, it does take longer, but anything that takes time is going to create a permanent stamp in your mind. It's going to create a permanent stamp in your lifestyle. It's going to create a permanent change in the habits that you make. Because now, instead of you thinking about, oh, I have to only eat so and so, you're thinking, because your coach has been helping you to modify your thought process. Oh, you know what? If I have this bowl of cherries instead of these bag of Doritos, I'm actually going to feel better. I'm just hungry. I don't necessarily need Doritos. I'm hungry, but I think the bag of cherries or the bowl of cherries will be healthier. You just start thinking that way. Before,
Yeah.
we do a lot of things sort of like on autopilot. You see a donut, you see Doritos, you see soda, you're hungry, so you just grab things. Your stomach doesn't know what you're choosing until you get it. But if you can learn to stop, think, identify where you are, what you're doing, and you know these changes that you need to make, and you're more aware, because I believe coaches we help you to be more aware of your
Okay.
surroundings and your life and of the choices that you make. And when you're more aware of that, you can't be unaware anymore.
I love that. I love that. So we're talking about Doritos and cherries, and so ice cream has dairy in it and sometimes fruit. I mean, yes, I like a good bowl of ice cream, and I always think of it as, well, if I get the butter pecan, then that is some nuts, and then there's dairy, and then I can put some strawberries on top of it, and then that's a real balanced meal. Is that a no?
I never say no. I never say no. There is a spectrum for all of it. And I
Yeah,
try to get people to think 80-20. 80% of the times you do what is best, not
got
perfect,
it.
just best. 20% of the time, do whatever the heck you want to do and don't even think about it. So you just have to keep
Okay.
that balance. And that's how life is, really. I mean, we couldn't just say, I don't know, clothes bothers me, or look, wearing a bra is uncomfortable. So I'm just run around everywhere and let my boobs just flap all over. But 80% of the
Okay,
time
but
when
some
we're
people do now. Some people are
well,
braless.
yeah, I do that too, but it depends. There's a 20% of the time, like when I'm with my husband, I want to be real sexy. I want to get his eyes on me. I'll do that. But when I'm in a professional work environment, I got to
You wear a bra.
80%. You got to wear a bra. You know, you can take that 80-20 to anything.
Okay, did y'all listen? We're having a real candid talk over here. We're talking about nutrition, talking about fitness. Y'all, you can take your bra off 20% of the time. But if you know your girls need some restraints, keep your bra on, please. You not be out here in these streets without a bra and you're swinging from east to west
Been
everywhere.
all over
Okay?
me.
Oh my God, Delsina. And so, what challenges do you think you have as a fitness and nutrition coach with some of your clients or some individuals? What do you think is the biggest misconception or challenge individuals have surrounding fitness and nutrition?
I don't have time.
Mm,
Everybody
that's
says,
me. That's me. That's me.
you have time. You have time. You have time. We all have time. We all have the same 24 hours a day. And it's how we choose to prioritize what we do in it. You've got to eat, you've got to sleep, you've got to get up. What you do in between those hours are make the difference in the makeup and your results. So you don't have to spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes, etc. in the gym. You don't have to eat salads all day. It's a matter of making small incremental changes to what you're currently doing now that are part of your regular lifestyle that will allow you to make those changes. But people want things instantly. This is an instant society. Instant relief, instant food. Instant food isn't even instant enough. The drive-through is not fast enough, you know? And so you got to get people to understand you can change within within the parameters of your current life now, but you've got to do it one step at a time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Delsina, thank you so much. And I'm joking about the ice cream, y'all. I do everything in moderation. And this girl actually does run or walk 3 miles every other day. And so,
See,
Delsina, one thing I know about your coaching business is that you can coach from anywhere. And so tell individuals what to expect booking you as a public speaker, number one, and then number two, coaching with you. How can someone get a consultation with you? So what can we expect as a guest speaker, and then how can we book a consultation with you?
Okay, what you can expect with me as a guest speaker is I am going to be live and cracking jokes and getting your audience engaged and involved. I like to see where the audience is, where their mindset is, and what they know and what they don't know. And I like to give them humor along with the education. I think they used to call it edutainment, something like that.
Okay,
So
okay.
I like people to come away with real life, real hard information that they can use. I'm not one of those fluff and stuff type of speakers. I'm going to give you practical, science based information that you can take to the bank. You can look it up in research that will give you some really good practical applications, but you're going to learn it in a fun and engaging environment. And then the
Amen.
second thing is with my coaching, the first thing we're going to do is sit down and have a talk about what you really want. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how to change your life right now if I don't even know you. So we're going to get a chance to really get to know where your needs are, what you really want, and why you want what you want. And then I'm going to help you to find the solutions that fit into your current lifestyle. And if you are a walking, breathing human being, there is always a way to help you to reach your goals.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you guys heard it here, and you can see that you can book Delsina at delsina@me.com is her email, or you can go to her website, delsinawest.com. Her fees, everything is on there, y'all. You can get everything that you need from Delsina at delsina@me.com or the website, delsinawest.com. So I have been under her tutelage. I have seen her speak. She is a ball of energy and a ball of fire. So if you're looking for a conference speaker, a keynote speaker, a breakout session speaker, go ahead and book Delsina for nutrition, for fitness, for a mindset change as it comes to the art of aging well. That is your guest speaker, Delsina West. Delsina, thank you so much for being here again today. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for taking us through your trauma, your healing, and then even your mindset change. We are happy that you are here with us in this earth and on this side of those who are living. So thank you so much. And then Delsina, someone can book you from anywhere in the world. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Have passport, will travel.
Got it. And then Delphina, you're also bilingual. So if we have someone who's a Spanish speaking,
Yes, that's
you're
right.
able
Hablo
to.
español fluentemente y yo puedo hablar con tu audiencia cuando quieras.
Okay, so you heard it here. Spanish. So for those of you who are Spanish speaking and you need a keynote speaker, she is
I
fluent in
am
Espanol.
fluent
So
in
go ahead.
Spanish, yes. Now, a note about my website. I have a web designer who is updating it, so you may see some things that say coming soon, but that is still going to be the main site for you to reach and contact me.
Awesome. Awesome. Delsina, thank you so much for being here today. Hey guys, like I told you, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, we have somebody different from somewhere and then we have a candid conversation with them, a candid talk, right? So on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. with Dr. K or Dr. Z, whatever you want to call me, let's just talk candidly. Okay? All right, Delsina.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Good night.